Hello folks, welcome back to GingerLion's modded Minecraft Let's Play. This is episode 8. I've been doing some work down here under my house. I've been trying to clear out just a little bit of space because I intend to put my basement down here, and I came to some decisions. First of all, if you take a look at the wear bar on my excavator, that's just from cleaning off the first surface level of dirt and sand that I ran into. This is my pick. You'll note I really only have 2 squares of space cleared up here. So what this tells me is a couple of things. First, I'm not patient enough to really clear this out in the most generic way. Second, I need a couple more tools. And in relation to that, third of all, I need a lot more power. So as you can see, I'm sorting all the stuff, just tossing it in chests, just trying to get this done as quick as I can. And I still don't have any of the stuff that I need here at my house. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sleep through the night, I'm going to take you back over to my cave, and I'm going to show you the next process that I'm going to start. Just because doing this manually seems silly. However, there is one thing that I need to collect before I go over there, because in the process of doing all the work that I did before, I basically burned off all of my coal, and I need it to recharge my tools. This is part of why I feel like I have a whole new thing that I need to do. So, what is it that I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to go and collect lava and use it to make power from the nether. Now, you all know that I've been to the nether. That's where I've been collecting glowstone. But I haven't yet made any power generation. And almost everyone that I've seen makes power generation directly out of the nether, and it's great. Except, it tends to lag computers very badly, and while at the moment I'm sure that my computer can handle anything that I might need to do, I'm equally sure that at some point I'm going to stress this system right to its max, because that's what I tend to do. So, I need a relatively low lag approach to this. That's why I haven't built it at this point. But there are some new tools that I've been staring at that I'm really looking forward to. So let's take a look at the... I spelled it wrong. The ender-thermic pump is a new thing added by Extra Utilities. It's a pretty complicated block to make, though I'll tell you it's not quite as bad as it looks. The advantage to the ender-thermic pump is this. When you put it in the nether, you have to basically place it 1 block above the level of a lava lake. At that point, what that pump does is reaches out and grabs a block of lava and immediately replaces it with smooth stone or cobblestone. Instantly. What that does, it doesn't force a chunk update, and it doesn't force any lava flowing. What that means is, it reduces the 2 heaviest lag items related to pulling lava out of the nether. Saves on processing time, makes the game run faster, looks prettier, and I really like it in efficiency. Also, one of the reasons that I'm going to make an ender-thermic pump now, hey, this just triggered. I wanted to take a look. I've been having some problems. If you see right there, you see those pieces of sugarcane just sort of sitting there on the brick? I'm losing a lot of sugarcane there, and I'm getting quite a lot of lag out of the system. I don't particularly like this build. I'm going to have to completely replace it with an automated process later. But at least for the moment, I'm getting sugarcane, and it's not horrible. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. The ender-thermic pump, if I hit U, is part of a bigger recipe for the ender quarry. Now, the ender quarry is another new block. It's pretty complicated and expensive to make. It uses 2 ender-thermic pumps, 2 ender cores, which are made of a whole bunch of complicated things that I've never made before, though luckily ender-infused obsidian isn't that hard. I'm going to have to use a bunch of it to make this in the first place, but what the ender quarry does. Now, there's already existing a quarry, and I'm about to use it. But what that quarry does is it, layer by layer, carves off one layer and then moves down and carves off the next layer. It removes everything. It removes the dirt, it removes the gravel, it removes the cobblestone, it removes everything, which gets you all the ores that you want, but also leaves a giant pit straight down into the ground. It's huge, it's not pretty. I'm about to use it because that's effectively the effect that I want, and then I will build the floors in between the various levels of my house. But for normal mining, it leaves giant pits in the ground. And that's not good. I don't like that. I don't like that look. So, what am I going to do about it? Well, I'm going to use the new ender quarry. What the ender quarry does is you lay out whatever size and shape you would like. I believe they do have to be square or rectangular, so whatever size you'd like, in fences on the ground. You place the ender quarry in line with the fence, anywhere in line, and provide it power and a place to spit items out to, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And it will mine all of those blocks, but it will not mine dirt. It will not mine cobblestone. It will not mine gravel. It will not mine sand. And what it will do is any ore that it finds, just like I was talking about the ender-thermic pump replacing any chunk of lava with a chunk of stone, this will replace any ore with a chunk of dirt. This means that it won't change any of the water flow patterns. It won't change any of the configurations. It won't break anything down there under the surface. It will just replace all the ores that we care about with dirt and give us all the ores that we care about. What this means, again, is that there's not a lot of lag because there's no... As far as the game is concerned, there's no significant change in that location, and there's no updates required to any of the blocks. Also, it means that I don't get huge piles of dirt and sand and gravel produced. And finally, and this is the biggest selling point for me, it doesn't leave big giant pits in the ground. From the surface, and in fact from underneath, everything looks fine. There's just no ores anymore, and there's a lot more dirt. I think this is wonderful, and I intend to use this quite a lot in the upcoming future. But for the moment, I just need myself an ender pump and some ender tanks, because I'm going to go in the nether, I'm going to collect myself a source of lava, and I'm going to begin using that to power my systems in here. So, let's take a look at this recipe and see what we need to make. Well, let's start with making the easy things. I need, clearly, 2 buckets and an iron pickaxe. I know how to make those. Let's grab ourselves just a stack of iron, just to make it fast and easy. Do I have any sticks around here that I previously made? Let me look in my chests. I don't think that I do, but... Okay, I do. I have a stack of sticks. Okay, so, over here to the crafting table, I'm going to make an iron pickaxe. Sometimes, when I'm building a bunch of complicated machinery, I like to lay out the recipe here in my inventory. So I know that the bottom center of this is an iron pickaxe. So there we are. There's my iron pickaxe. This is beginning the layout. Now I need 2 buckets. The recipes go like so. One of them needs to be filled with lava, and one of them needs to be filled with water. Well, I have an infinite water source right here. I'll take a bucket of water. You just heard that trigger again. Let me go look again. Up there, I see one sugar cane that's just floating and isn't going to come down. I'm just going to ignore it, but this is proof. I really want to replace this build. Now, come down here, and if you want lava out of one of these tanks, all you got to do is right-click on it. Now I have my water, my lava. Let's look at the recipe again. A diamond's easy to get, but now we start to get into the complicated things. So it looks like I need to make 4 of these. This is 12 obsidian and 4 ender pearls. Well, I know that I've been collecting ender pearls because I knew this day was coming. There's some obsidian. I believe I left my ender pearls up here. Pretty much the only ones I've used so far were to make myself those elevators back in my base. So let's make these 4 blocks. I need 4 of them. Oop, looks like 4 gets made just like that. That's cheap and easy. I like that. Now, let me lay these 4 out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting much closer to that recipe. Now, I need an Eye of Ender, which is blaze powder and ender pearl. Now, I've been getting blaze rods, which I could then crush up, but also, since I'm in the desert, there are these blaze plants that are growing outside, which produce blaze powder. So that's easy. 1 eye, 1 ender pearl, 1 blaze powder, and there's my Eye of Ender. And now I need 1 diamond, which I have plenty of in this chest, and there's my recipe. So let me put this together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. My pickaxe. I could have done this the easy way. Let me do this the easy way. Let me put all this stuff in my inventory. I guess not. One of the things that I've learned about the shift question mark when you're using NEI is that if you use anything that can take damage, this iron pickaxe is a perfect example. This is a thing that can take damage, it won't get automatically sorted. That's unfortunate. So I guess I have to do this manually. There's my first ender-thermic pump. And it gives me back the 2 buckets. That recipe was nowhere near as expensive as I expected it to be, because I didn't notice that when you are making ender-fused obsidian, you get 4 for a single ender pearl. Ender pearl. So, now we have this. What's the next thing that we need? Well, we're going to need a ender tank. And an ender tank... Looks like I need some wool, some blaze rods, and a cauldron. I already have the iron for the cauldron, so why don't I make that? There's the cauldron. I need 4 blaze rods. I need some wool. I've already got the obsidian. The blaze rods are the only thing that I need to grab. I need 4 of them. Now, a thing that I've learned recently, if you are trying to collect items out of an inventory, if you place your mouse over it and scroll up, it'll take it from the box and drop it in your inventory. It's a little counterintuitive direction-wise, but I'm fine with it. So now, I need wool. It's the last thing that I need. And I think I'm going to use orange wool in hopes that it will produce me an orange ender tank. Let's see if it works. Am I missing anything from the recipe? I have obsidian, I have ender pearls, and I have a cauldron. I guess it's not going to put it in automatically for me, so I'm going to have to do it manually. 1, 2, 3, 4. It did. It made it orange. Perfect. That's what I'd like. And I'm going to need to make 1 more of these. So 4 more blaze rods, and 1 more cauldron will be easy to make. Now, the reason that I need 2, for those of you who haven't played with ender tanks before, what an ender tank is it's a storage tank for fluids that any 2 ender tanks that are marked with the same color pattern... Oh, I forgot to make my cauldron. Just a moment. Any 2 ender tanks that are marked with the same color pattern, which in this case, I'll put them down and you'll be able to see they are marked orange, orange, orange. That's because I used orange wool in the production process. You can remark them by just using dye. It's relatively simple, but they are connected. It doesn't matter where they are. It doesn't matter whether they're in different dimensions or in different places in the same dimension. When you connect 2 ender tanks, you can see it in the bottom right there. There's my ender tank with orange, orange, orange on it. They are always connected, which means that if I pump lava into an ender tank in the nether and then put down another ender tank here in the normal Minecraft vanilla world, all that lava that I'm pumping into it in the nether will appear in the normal world. And since the nether is full of lakes of lava, obviously what I end up with is an infinite or near infinite supply of lava here in the real world. And those can be used for, let me just type in, I apparently can't type today. That doesn't help any, because a lot of things can be used in a generator to make fuel. So let's look at apparently thermal is such a large word that a lot of things are in it. I know which mod has the block that I'm looking for, so I'm going to go about that this way. Mod thermal expansion. Page 1 of thermal expansion has a steam dynamo and a magmatic dynamo. This is what I want to build. This is going to take Invar gears, silver ingots. So I need some redstone and some Invar. Let me come downstairs. I'm not sure how much Invar I have right now. If I don't have any, I do have the materials to make more Invar. So let's see, 10. I'm going to need some silver. So let's make 5 of those. Iron. Let's sort this all. Aluminum, tin. Okay, so here's another trick that I use occasionally. If you double click on this box down here at the bottom and begin typing, it will highlight in any inventory attached any item that matches that spelling. This way I could find Invar from amidst all the other things that were in this list. Now double click again to turn it off. So now, I again want the magmatic dynamo. Let me look at the recipe again. Invar ingots. Invar gears are made of iron and 1 gear. I still have plenty of iron. I'm going to make a collection of these because I'm going to need them in several places. So, let's start with, let's make 8 gears. There's 8 iron. There's 8 Invar gears. That's going to make me 4 dynamos. That should be plenty for the purposes that I'm looking for. That means I need 4 of these redstone transmission coils, silver and redstone. Let me get the redstone. I've got plenty right here. Think, think, think. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's plenty. Now, let's go ahead and build these 4. Now, when I go into the nether, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down an ender-thermic pump. I'm going to place next to it an ender tank and use a magmatic dynamo for providing it power. Now, just to be 100% safe, I know I'm going in the nether and there's inevitably huge amounts of lava, but I'm going to make sure that I brought a block of lava along with me so that I can start up the dynamo. Now, I'm going to need fluid ducts. Let me see if I have any in any of my chests. This is a big disadvantage, by the way, having to look through 2, 4, 20 chests looking for the things that I might need. I only have 1 fluid duct. I'm going to have to make more of these. Let me look upstairs also. I don't like having to look through this many chests looking for my stuff, so relatively soon I'm going to make a storage and sorting system that's better than my manual attempt at a storage and sorting system, which as you can see doesn't work all that wonderfully and gets confused. So I'm going to fix it, but that's not this episode. That's a couple episodes down the line. Now, I have 2 fluid ducts. What more do I need to make fluid ducts? Okay. I don't have the ability to make hardened glass yet, so I can't make these pretty transparent fluid ducts. But as long as I have lead and copper, which I have in abundance, there's some copper. Where's my lead? There's my lead. I can make lots of these. I don't need lots of these, but I probably will in the future. And let me check something. If I wish to ever upgrade these, all I need is some thermal glass. Well, the only useful recipe for these, if I toss 6 of them in, I get 6 back, and I make 6 at a time, which means that all I need is hardened glass later to upgrade these to the nice pretty ones. That's fine. So, I might as well make a stack of them. Oh, what's my recipes? 31? There. Now I have plenty of fluid ducts. I'm going to leave a bunch of them here. But I'm going to take a quarter of a stack, just to be 100% sure. And I'm going to take 1 hardened energy conduit. the reason for that is this. If you feed from a magmatic dynamo directly into a thing, anything, you have the possibility that if that thing doesn't need all the power, that your magmatic dynamo can seize up. I don't really want my magmatic dynamos to seize up. So, if you feed it into an energy conduit first, that energy conduit acts as an energy buffer, and so it will tell the magmatic dynamo to slow down before the magmatic dynamo, I said that a bunch of times now, and my tongue is beginning to stumble. Before the magmatic dynamo seizes up, it will tell it to slow down. So, let me find my wrench. Was I just looking at it? Nope, it's not in here. Okay. By the way, you guys have probably seen me do this about 100 times now, and I may not have explained it. If you middle click, in my case that means pushing my scroll wheel down, just clicking on my scroll wheel, you can sort a chest. This is not a vanilla function. This is most definitely not a vanilla function. However, it is extremely useful, and a good way to sort out the things that you have versus the things that, for example, this chest is sort of disorganized. If I middle click, now all the ingots are together and all the nether quartz are together, etc. So, I think, since I'm going to the nether, before I do so, I'm going to steal an iron ingot and make myself some armor. Now, this is not by any means the armor that I would like to wear, but it's certainly a lot better than no armor. And the nether is kind of a dangerous place. Having armor probably will make sure that I don't die. It'll also make sure that I come back with all of my tools and all the other pretty things in my inventory intact. So there we are. I made myself some basic iron armor. I'll put it on. And now I don't look quite so gingery as my GingerLion, but at least I'm well armored. And just to be 100% sure, I'm only going to take one of the things that I need with me. I'm going to leave the extra ender tank here. I'll take the redstone, because I don't mind. If I died and lost some redstone, it would be sad, but it would not be the end of the world. So, I think I'm equipped with everything that I need. Time for me to head to the nether. I built myself a little bit of a gate. I don't necessarily want to go into how I did it. It was some pretty complicated work with logic gates and etc. That I wasn't particularly comfortable with, and I don't think I'll repeat, but just know that it's possible. I built myself using the drawbridge block a particularly nice gate that triggers off of these obsidian pressure plates. Anyway, off to the nether. Okay, here I am in the nether. Now, the place that I'm going I know to be dangerous. I've already marked it on my map, except that with the crash I lost all of my map information. So, I'm going to do a little bit of flying around in firebat form. Now, firebat's kind of annoying in a certain way, because when you have firebat, you see all this fire that's going on around me. It obscures my view and that sort of thing. But at least I'm immune to fire and lava, which means that I'm a little bit safer than I would be otherwise. So if I get hit by turned on fire, I will live through it. Now, here's a lava lake. I'm not sure if you... Yep, this is the lava lake that I had intended to use. I think I'm being attacked. I am being attacked by another fire bat. There. No longer. Now, my intention... Let's see, where exactly in this lava lake do I want... So, for those... Again... I was talking about this wonderful block, the ender-thermic pump. One of the nice things about the ender-thermic pump is I was talking about how it oh, I don't like that. Okay, those beehives. I'm going to stay away from those beehives. I think I'm... Oh, see, there's a bee. A wasp, to be precise. I don't like that wasp, but I can't seem to damage it. I think something's lagging out on my computer. So, anyway, one of the nice things about the ender-thermic pump is it will reach out as much as 5 chunks. Now, let me just turn on my chunk map for a minute. I am literally at the edge of a chunk. 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is far enough out. I need to pick a better location. I think this block over here looks like the best location that I can think of. So, I'm going to waste a couple of lava blocks, but that's okay. What I'm about to do, we'll use up to 5 chunks. If you see these grids, each one of these is what's called a chunk in the game. Each one of these is sort of a processing unit. All the things in one chunk are stored together. And when the game sees that a player is nowhere nearby, it unloads these chunks. One of the things that the ender-thermic pump does is it acts as a chunk loader, but acts as a very picky chunk loader. It only loads 2 chunks. The chunk it's in, and whatever chunk it's working on. So, for example, it might be here, and it might be working over here. It only loads these 2 chunks. It doesn't load the entire path in between. Most of the things that happen, most of the chunk loaders, as they're called, that exist in this game, load a whole bunch of chunks, like, for example, a normal thing that might operate in a 5-chunk radius will load all 5 chunks. This is designed to be as processor light as possible, and so it only loads a couple of chunks. The chunk it's in, and the chunk it's working in. But what that means is, if I put my engine over here, it'll chunk unload. This is going to keep this chunk loaded, but it's not always going to keep this chunk loaded. So if I put some of my equipment over here, it won't work when I leave. It'll work just fine while I'm sitting here staring at it, but as soon as I get far enough away, it'll stop working. So, what am I going to do? I'm sorry about all the fire in my screen right now, but I really don't want to get hurt and fall into lava and die. So, there is... That'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hardened energy conduit right here, and I'm going to put my magmatic dynamo right up against it. Now, the magmatic dynamo won't start up yet because it doesn't have any lava. To give it lava, I'm going to pass a fluid duct from here over to there. Now, I don't know if it will operate automatically, that's why I brought my wrench, but we'll find out in just a moment. So, I'm going to take this lava bucket and fill up this generator. And then I'm going to toss this out of the way and check this. This, what does it say? It says that there's lava in that, and this is full of lava. 4 buckets. That means that this chunk loader is doing its job and is processing lava. Now, the only thing that I have left to do to make this build successful is to attach one ender tank to it and switch its mode. Let's see, what's its mode right now? Orange, orange, orange. And I believe that blue means that it will fill, and red means it'll empty. So now this tank, theoretically, is going to stay full of lava because this is going to pump lava, pumps it out the top, pumps some into this, and anything left over goes into the tank. There's no configuration choices on the ender-thermic pump, but if you look, see here? See these blocks of stone? It is replacing blocks of lava with those blocks of stone. Those weren't there just a moment ago. So, it's now pumped out 4 blocks of lava, 3 to fill the tank, 3 to fill the engine, and there's probably 1 below. It'll pump all the way down to the surface. It'll replace all of this. So, here we are. This is should be a working lava transmission system. Now, let's see if I can find my way home. I think that I had started... Let me turn this off. It's very annoying, if you can see. There, F9 again, and it's gone. Now, I think my home here in the nether... Whoop. There's a scary thing. I really don't like these heat scar spiders. Let me see. Where is my home? I don't like getting lost in the nether. It is a scary thing. Now see how these graphics load and suddenly I can see the lava down here and then something will process and suddenly I can't see the lava down there? That's the... I got several of these wasps chasing me now. That was scary. I'm going to eat some food while I try to figure out where exactly it is that I was when I built my home. I can't see it from here. Well, I was talking about chunk loading. See how I can sort of see through that? That means that's perfectly normal. But sometimes over here, you'll be able to see long distances through things, and then suddenly they'll pop in. There was a chunk loading. The game takes a little while to load chunks. This is to make sure that the game processes at a reasonable rate. I found my home. Now let me just take a moment, open up my map, mark Nether home. And while I'm at it, I see another block of cobalt that I hadn't spotted before. So I'm going to come over here and mine it, because cobalt's always a valuable thing to have. I hope I just got that. I didn't. I wasn't close enough. I hope it didn't fall into lava. I bet it did. No, it's right there next to this pigman. Let's see. Can I have that block, please, Mr. Pigman? Thank you. I really wanted that cobalt. And since I'm marking things here in the Nether, I'm going to go over here and mark my lava pump just for safety and security's sake. These hornets are frightening to me. They're a flying dangerous enemy. But mark, scroll down. Okay, now let me go home. I know I could stop and get that glowstone, or some of that, or any of these ores, but I'm not gonna. Instead, I'm just gonna go home. So it's straight up above me. There we go. This is why I wasn't able to find it, because I didn't notice this hole in the ceiling. And then, to be safe, I always enter and exit from over here. That way, I'm not inviting fireballs from ghasts to come smashing into my base. Now, let me turn back onto lion form and make my way back out of the Nether. Safety. Home. Now, no, sometimes zombie pigmen and other things will come in through that portal. That's why I built this little doorway and whatnot. Now they can't get out. They're trapped in that little room. That's fine by me. Okay. Now, eat a chunk of bread, fill up my health. Now, I have built myself my first power source that's going to run for a long time without me needing to feed resources. And because I'm setting up in my house right now, I'm going to, rather than automating this system right here, I'm going to fill my 2 buckets with water. And I'm going to pick all this stuff up. Boop, boop, boop. Shift right click on any of these things and they will pick up and drop on the ground. Let me actually just make sure I got them all by turning the magnet mode on for a little bit. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of these sugar canes that I don't really want, but that's fine. Put them back in there. I'm going to want this lever. I'm going to want this. I'm just going to be a little bit of a troublemaker and collect as much of this stuff as I comfortably feel like I can carry over to my base. I'm going to use that. I'm going to come back and use a lot of these things until I transport this, which I can do, by the way. I think I'm going to sort this and take a whole bunch of my lead and my iron and my various ores just so that I have some of them. There. That's transported. I've got a process that I'm going to use in just a little while that's related to that ender tank that we just made. There are ender chests that do a similar thing, but for the moment, ooh, it's night, and I don't have a bed here. So, once again, bat form and a quick run. You can't see me. Please? Safe. Now, later I will move this entire contraption downstairs, but for the moment, I am going to take a magmatic dynamo and put it right there, and I'm going to put a hardened energy conduit above it. I'm going to attach that to my energetic infuser. I'm going to, I have plenty of liquid ducts, and I forgot to bring my ender tank. I do feel silly. Let me go up and sleep, and then I'll go get my ender tank and come back. So we are closing on the end of this episode, but I want to finish this build so those of you who've never played with ender tanks and lava and all of this fun stuff have some idea why it is that I spent this entire episode. I don't like to finish builds in the middle of episodes. That seems silly to me. Now let me take a look at this. This does not take any water whatsoever. It's kind of nice. I'm basically going to drop everything out of my inventory right here, knowing that I'll come back and get it. The only thing I'm going to carry is my sword. Back to my old base. I have a sword. They never listen. One of the reasons that I build swords like this is because I'm not so great at combat, and I like to be able to kill creepers before they blow up. Just seems nice. Now, this is what I get for sticking all my stuff in here. Now, if you even look, you can see that that tank is full of lava. That's cool. I think that's cool, at least. I'm going to grab the rest of these. I've got, let's see, are there any energy ducts in here? There are 4. That'll be nice. I'll bring my gravity gun. Let's see, what other toys? I didn't bring my wrench, so I can't really just break that. Punch it to death. There we go. And then get it out of my hand so that I don't do that again. Okay. Hoppers are always nice to have. I'm sort of just collecting a bit of stuff so that when I find myself over at the other base, and I'm not done yet, but at least I'm starting into some of these processes, that I'll find myself with at least some of the things that I need in the chests nearby. Let me go up here. This doesn't necessarily have to do with my build, but I don't really want to waste a trip either. Let me bring over some extra building materials in case I need to rebuild some things. Bring some ender pearls over. Some wood, always good to have. Redstone torches. More food. Anything else that I really feel like I should carry? This and this. There. I'm good. Not a wasted trip now. Still have a sword. Nobody out this time of day. That's good. My apologies for taking so long on this little build, but I just want to get it done. The reason that I did it is that this is a much more flexible system than I'm showing today, but this will show you the basics of what it is that I built and why I built it. I'm going to slap this pipe in, and it says that it's empty. Now, I think all I got to do is whack. Now the blue is down. This is emptying instead of filling. This is now full of lava, and this tank is still full of lava too. That means that this will generate redstone flux after it's finished filling this up completely, and it will continue to do so. That means that until I run out of lava in the nether, I have all the power I could want. I can connect more magmatic dynamos to more fluid ducts, filling them with lava, connecting them to hardened energy conduits, and connecting them to anything that needs power, including, and the reason that I started this episode the way that I did, including, relatively soon, connecting a quarry up underneath my base to quarry out all of that earth so that I don't have to dig it out with my pickaxe. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you have a better idea of how to use the ender-thermic pump and the magmatic dynamo, fluid ducts, etc. And I'll see you here next episode, where I'm probably going to be setting myself up with a quarry and maybe some sort of storage system, because at the moment, pushing a quarry into these chests seems a little crazy. Perhaps. Anyway, I'll see you next episode.